rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.
It is a spring and summer season. Call Taylor now for all their Plumbing Safety Essentials Plus plan and save $100 on a Bradford white water heater. Get free diagnostic fees and no overtime charges on emergency repairs with additional 15% discount. You know, since 1947, Taylor Heating and Plumbing and Bradford White have been the most reliable source for all your plumbing and heating needs. And of course, if you're into that spring and summer season, as we all are, duct cleaning is big right now. Call Jerry and he will talk to you about how important that is to keep your ducts clean in your house. And air conditioning and heating, they can do it all for you, as well as home energy. Taylor 500 Help. That's Taylor 500 Help. And Precision Lawn and Garden, 195 North Avenue in Webster, open weekdays 8 to 5, Saturday 9 to noon. Precision Lawn and Garden has been providing Rochester and the surrounding areas professional sales and service and parts since 1969. Snow blowers, blowers, chainsaws, lawn mowers, the big daddy of those zero-turn lawn mowers, all new models, sale models, all Still products, Cub Cadet, Ferris, and Toro. Precision Lawn and Garden, 195 North Avenue in Webster. And Express Sealers, because nothing makes your curb appeal look nicer than a freshly sealed driveway. It looks amazing. Call Express Sealers, not a fly-by-night company. They're not one of those door knocker sealing companies. Protect your investment. Power trimmed edges. They treat grease spots. They do it all. And they're looking for steady work. And if you're looking for steady work, they're looking for steady workers. And if you want good pay, call Express Sealers today, 645-2010, 645-2010, or have them come out to your neighborhood and do your driveway. They are the best because they're advertising here.
Live from the We the People broadcast studio here in sunny Irondequoit, New York. It's Kimberly.
It's me. It's me. Hi. It's me and just Tom. Tom is here. Tom Morgan, of course, has been on a giant sales call today.
I'm on a bender.
He's been so busy the last 3 weeks. He's like listed 2 houses. We're super busy. Where is your latest? Your latest coup.
It's not official yet, but it's out in Williamson.
So if anyone is looking for significant acreage in Williamson, where you can have horses.
It's the most beautiful place on earth.
You can go outside and naked and no one will see you.
We'll get to that later.
Okay.
By the way, are we that desperate for ratings that you're bringing out the girls today?
Am I bringing? It is a little low cut, isn't it? I don't know if you can see that. I know it's.
We're bringing out the girls. We're trying to get the ratings up.
Yeah, that's it. We're trying to get the views up on YouTube. So listen, if we're relying on my boobs, we are sunk. We are going nowhere fast if we're relying on the girls to get the views up, because I think we're going to be out of luck in that regard. How are you? Long weekend.
Great. I'm doing great.
Kimberly's Revolution, our daily podcast. We do it every Monday and Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we do it when we're all 3 here with Chad, Tom, and me. Kimberly's Revolution, of course, brought to you by RockVox Productions, Fitz and RockVox over in Bushnell's Basin. So we urge you to support them, as well as all of our advertisers, Fantuzo's, Precision Lawn and Garden, Taylor Heating and Cooling, and Express Sealers. And also thanks to Austin, who is here today. And did you have a good long weekend?
I did have a good long weekend.
Isn't that what Kamala calls it? Have a nice long weekend.
Right.
That's all. That's it. That's all. Just Kamala saying, have a nice long weekend. I can't believe that idiot is our vice president of these United States, but yet she is. It's just not a long weekend. It is a weekend to give thanks for all of our military who lost their lives in conflicts to secure our democracy, for idiots like her to be vice president. You see how that works? There she is. There is her idiot highness.
Well, she did walk it back and and do
Too
something.
late. As a vice
professional.
president, you cannot do that. I mean, honestly, I don't know who her handlers are. If she's, I just don't know. But you have to know the significance
Yeah.
of Memorial Day. That is key when you're vice president of the United States of America. So that is Kamala, where she said, enjoy the long weekend. The long weekend where a lot of men and women gave up their lives, spilled bloodshed in foreign countries to make sure that we have a good Memorial Day of hamburgers and hot dogs. So,
Absolutely.
yay. Williamson Apple Country is where Michelle is right now. Do you know where that is?
Yeah, it's everywhere.
It's Apple
Everywhere
Country.
in
She's saying
Apple.
Williamson is Apple Country. Yeah, I agree. Everywhere is Apple Country.
Yes.
Hilton is Apple Country.
Anywhere near the lake.
Is Apple Country.
Right.
Yeah. Deborah says hello from sunny St. Pete. I love St. Pete.
She always has to rub that in.
I
doesn't
know.
She?
I don't. Yeah. Wait till when it's like just crazy hot in Florida,
Right.
and we can rub it in her face. But right now she's got the upper hand.
I'm excited. My brother's driving up.
What?
Yeah, he's driving up from Key West. He's got the motor home and he's making the trip.
Nice.
He'll be here the weekend. So
So-
maybe next week we can get him on the show.
Well, fantastic. Is he older?
He's, a year and a half older.
Oh, okay.
But
is he going to help you tear off the wallpaper?
he could. Yeah, that's what he does.
Is that what he does? He does construction?
He does everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
he literally is a snowbird. He goes down.
No, he only comes up a couple weeks a year just to visit my mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a lifer, Key West lifer.
That's the life right
Yeah.
there. I mean, I don't know if I'd like to live in Key West, but I'd like to spend several months out of the year there. Just renting. That's it.
Yeah.
Not doing anything
Could
else.
rent his
but-
place.
But just rent. I would,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to be there when he's there. Yeah, I want to be there in January and February, and he's
Mhm.
probably there.
Yeah, he's
so that's,
there. Yeah.
that's impossible. So, but yeah, it was Memorial Weekend. I did post a picture of my dad and his
saw that.
his brother. It's Danny and James Ray. They were true Irish twins. There they are. My dad is on the left. He's standing there with his hands on his hips. His brother James did not make it out of Korea. Died at the age of 21 after only being in country for about 2 to 3 weeks. It's an interesting story. Again, they were only like 11, 12 months apart, and the my dad's brother James Ray couldn't stay out of trouble. He was always in fights or picking fights with the older kids or picking fights in the neighborhood. He went into the Marines. And the reason he ended up in Korea was because he couldn't stay out of trouble. And we have all the documentation. My oldest brother, who just passed away in January, who is named after, did all the research on our uncle that we never knew. And come to find out that he had a cushy job at the Swedish embassy. He was like a guard at the Swedish embassy. He had been in and out of trouble while in Marines, thrown in the brig a couple of times.
Mhm.
My brother also enlisted when he was old enough. And so they were both Marines. And so my uncle was at the Swedish embassy and got drunk one night and decided he was going to take off on someone's bicycle, and then must have thought that he was home in Kansas somewhere and tried to break into someone's home and actually went in through the window. And of course, this mortified the Swedish family that said, "You're not in Kansas anymore."
Yeah, it's not NTM.
Here it's not. And they called the police, and of course they dragged him back to, the barracks, and they said, "Ray, we've had enough of you."
They shipped him to the front lines.
And they shipped him to Korea, and he lasted about 2.5 weeks. And
Oh.
so there is a story of
Horrific.
it's terrible. And so my father was already in Korea at the time. And so they were able to pull him home because he was the surviving son. There were just the two of them, and then that was it. So, but I posted that picture yesterday, and one came home and one didn't. I'm grateful that my dad was able to come home, but it's sad not, ever meeting an uncle that served so patriotically in the Korean War. If he would have been able to stay out of trouble, we might be talking about a different set of circumstances. But I like that picture. I like the side-by-side picture. I think that's very nice.
Good looking men there.
They're very good looking men. That's the Ray men.
Right. Not so much the Ray women.
The women take after. We're better looking.
Oh,
right.
okay.
We're better looking.
Sure.
So what did you do?
My son came home. So we sat around while he went golfing. No.
Did you go golfing?
No, I did not go
What?
golfing. Yeah, I wasn't invited.
Listen, we don't do
I
a
don't
show
have any
on
friends.
Thursday because you have to go golfing.
I do. I go golfing on Thursday.
Yeah. So you had all weekend to go
I
golfing.
actually do have a story. On Memorial Day, Lori wanted to go to the racetrack. It's something we like to do. So
What racetrack?
Finger Lakes to watch the ponies.
Oh, okay. Are they racing?
They are.
Okay.
Except they're only allowing 150 people outside. So the weird part was,
how does that make sense at all?
There was like 300 people waiting at the bottom of the, when you walk into Finger Lakes, there's the escalator to get upstairs.
Right.
There was like 100 people waiting at the bottom of the escalator for people to leave. But inside the building where there was 1,000 people, none of them with masks on, there's no COVID there. But outside where you're outside, only 150 people. So
that is stupid.
COVID is rampant outside.
Is that changing? Is that like a governor thing?
It's part of the racing commission, I guess?
Which is under the governor out of Albany, where all idiots reside, apparently. So in Albany, right?
So we went down to Canandaigua Lake. We went to a local brewery there, had lunch, and had a walk around.
Did you go to the casino? My mother loves Finger Lakes and Batavia Downs.
We're not much casino people. We just like the ponies.
I just like to drink when my mother goes to the casino. Yeah. Janet says hi, Kimberly and Tom. Hi, Janet. It is good to see you. Hi, Janet. Good to see you. Yeah. So it looks like, Hunter Biden's laptop is still not a thing.
Okay.
Over the weekend, more information came out about Hunter Biden's.
They've had this thing for like
laptop.
What, 4 years now? This laptop.
There he is. There's Hunter Biden.
Didn't they get this laptop when Podesta got busted for something? Podesta's secretary or something?
They've had it for a while, since
years.
way last fall, but his laptop continues to yield some pretty damaging information, but yet silence.
Nothing to see.
Silence from the media. You don't hear any of the national news programs covering Hunter Biden or what's in these emails. Like one of the emails came out over the weekend that was sent to Hunter Biden from this guy from Kazakhstan who was on the board of Burisma, I think helped run Burisma. And he says, "Dear Hunter, thank you for inviting me to DC and giving me an opportunity to meet your father and spend some quality time together. It was a real honor and pleasure." So much for any claim that President Joe Biden never met with any Burisma officials. That's what he said for so long, that he's never sat down with, that he's never met with any Burisma officials. But there is also photographic evidence that then Vice President Joe Biden attended this dinner where a couple of Kazakhstans and a couple of Ukrainians were at this bistro in Washington, D.C., in Georgetown, actually, where all the powers that be go. I think that's how they advertise themselves, where the powers that be go to have quiet conversation, right?
Yeah.
So Joe Biden is there with these shady Russian, Ukrainian, and Kazakh businessmen. What is he doing there having lunch? Why is...
He's looking to buy a timeshare.
Why is it...
There's nothing to see here. What are you talking about?
In the Ukraine?
Yeah, they got multiple timeshares there on the Black Sea.
There's the picture of then Vice President Joe and his son Hunter smiling with the two Kazakhs at the Cafe Milano. And the emails are there, and the emails have been widely distributed, but yet there is no media attention to this story, which smacks of influence peddling.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get around the fact that President Joe Biden is compromised because of his son in the dealings with the Russians, the Ukrainians, and these Kazakhstan guys. I mean, what is Kazakhstan anyway?
I think they have a hockey team.
Is that where Borat is from? I don't know. What's that?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, is that where Borat is from?
Yes.
That's all I know. That and the Sinarevs, right? The guys, the Boston Marathon shooters. Remember the terrorists
I do,
from?
yeah.
I think they were from some stan. I forget. Is it Uzbekistan?
Some stan.
Kazakhstan? I'm not sure exactly where, but you can't deny that this is a huge story, and we keep getting little bits of information with the emails and what was in the pictures and the back and forth and the money that Hunter Biden was making. Yet there is no conversation about what's going on in the national media.
You're never going to know.
Or the New York Times.
You're never going to know.
No.
You're never going to know.
Normal people will never know.
No.
And another thing that's really not being talked about as much as it probably should be. You remember last year when it was preposterous to say, and even racist, that the Wuhan virus was actually came out of the lab instead of being a natural born virus. And we talked about this last week. And even now, now the media is kind of covering it, but not so much because they have egg on their face.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. And once the story comes out and they realize they can't break it, then they start eating their own.
But,
oh, that was your fault. Then they eat their own children.
And so China is now threatening.
Like what's happening to Cuomo now.
The United States.
He seemed to skate on all that, Cuomo.
Cuomo skated.
Lovely Warren, she skated.
Hunter Biden is skating.
He's skating. They're all good skaters, these Democrats.
They are very good skaters.
Yeah, they skate backwards and forwards and
sideways.
Yeah, they're good skaters.
They do it all.
Yeah.
But China this morning has warned President Joe Biden that his 90-day probe into where the Wuhan virus came from
is expired.
He's comparing it to Waterloo, saying that this will be America's Waterloo.
Waterloo,
which, if you know your history,
Watergate.
No, Waterloo.
Waterloo.
Napoleon.
Oh, yes.
Which was a colossal failure for Napoleon.
Right.
So basically, China is saying, hey, if you continue with this 90-day probe into where the Wuhan virus came from, quit looking here, quit looking, go away. It will be your downfall. So basically, China is threatening the United States that if we don't make this whole investigation into where the virus came from, and we'll probably never know because China lies.
Yeah.
It will be the fall of the United States of America.
Tell them to give us $30 trillion.
And the problem is we don't have a president that can stand up.
No.
To China.
I don't even know if he can stand up.
We had a president that could stand up to China.
Right. How'd that work out?
But we don't have a president that can stand up to China now. Who's basically saying, we don't want to talk about this, so just go away.
Yeah.
Just go away. So 2 stories that should be front and center in major news stories are being ignored because, people don't want to deal in reality. People don't want to deal with the truth. And that's problematic. Now that people are finally saying, it might have originated in a lab. You don't want anybody talking about it because they look stupid for saying it was preposterous and racist.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a horrible thing to say it originated in China in a lab. That's racist. That's over the top. That's ridiculous. Not so ridiculous now. As if, there's only basically one station that's covering any of this, and it's Fox.
WKRP?
Yeah. It's not WKRP.
No.
It is not WKRP. So I watched, we did have a barbecue over the weekend, but it was, it was a little low key for us.
I must have lost my invite in the mail.
It was, it was just Chloe and her boyfriend. My daughter bought a boat.
A boat?
My daughter bought a boat.
A big boat?
It's
a sailboat?
20-footer. No,
Nice.
it is a speedboat. It's a ski boat.
Okay.
And it came with the skis. No one knows how to ski.
Wait a minute. So she bought the skis and the boat came with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they have jet skis. They bought jet skis last year. Chloe's boyfriend and she did. And then so she had an opportunity to take advantage of this boat deal, and she did. And it's in impeccable condition. And it came with the skis, but yet no one knows how to ski except for Mama.
Oh.
And I'm the only one that knows how to ski.
The slalom or the 2 skis?
I can do it all.
You can slalom?
I can get up on 2 skis. I can get up on 1 ski.
Do you do that flip over the waves?
I can't do that.
No.
And I don't know how well I land, but I can I can ski. I used to work for a radio station that was close to the Lake of the Ozarks. Have you heard of the Lake of the? I know you've watched Ozark.
I've watched Ozark, yes.
Right?
I've seen there's a lot of bodies buried underwater in there.
Right. So I used to work for a radio station that was pretty close to the Lake of the Ozarks. And we would go down and do these remote broadcasts from all these marina and boat stores and, what have you. And we would just go out and party all the time. I was 24 years old. That was the life.
You had the girls out every day.
The girls were out and the girls looked great. The girls were up then.
Right.
The girls, not so much. The girls have to be held up.
They were out skiing.
Yeah. Yeah. So we would go out and we would ski. I used to be able to get up on one ski and hold a beer in the other.
Nice. Right off the dock. Could you do it off the dock?
No, you know what? I could sit and go off the dock, but it had to be, I couldn't go off the dock on one ski. It ended up going, to the wrong side.
I tried water skiing when my brother had a boat and he could water ski. I tried like a couple times and all I did was just plow into the water and drink it, half a ton of it.
So
I just sank. I'm a sinker.
So I was telling this. So nobody knows how to water ski except for my husband doesn't know how to water ski. My daughter doesn't know has never been water skiing. Her boyfriend has never been water skiing. They've been out on jet skis, totally different kind of thing. And I said, you guys are pretty athletic. You could probably, it's just a matter of balance and pulling yourself up at the right time.
So did you try it?
It's timing okay. So she hasn't got it registered yet.
Oh.
You have to go through the registration. She has her boater's license because she had to get that when she had her, the jet skis, right? You have to get that. So so we're hoping to spend
a live promo event,
in a very short time out on that boat.
Is there any chance? There's no chance in hell you could still do this? Because that would be even funnier.
Can I water ski?
You're gonna fall on your face.
Isn't it like riding a bike, water skiing? I mean, once you it's
been 30 years.
It's balance and timing.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't know how much of either I really have left in me anymore. But
I'm sure you'll be fine.
I'm going to give it the old college try because I have to show them. So I was telling the story at the Lake of the Ozarks. You had to avoid hauling people around the side of the lake, and if someone falls around the side of a lake, at least at the Ozarks, that could be bad news. Do you know why? Because
trees?
Of water moccasins hanging from the trees.
I got part of it right.
So water moccasins would make their nests along the edge of the Lake of the Ozarks, and they'd climb up in trees and they'd fall down into the water. And if you are too close to the edge of the water, on skis, and you happen to, that would be a bad thing if you fell.
So these are like shoes that fall out of the tree. What are water moccasins?
They're snakes.
Oh, I thought they were like Indian shoes.
You had no idea? You didn't know that a water moccasin was a snake?
Oh, no.
Yeah, they're snakes. They're big, long, poisonous snakes that you do not
want to mess with.
Want to get all wrapped up in the water in the Lake of the Ozarks with them. All right.
So maybe water skiing is not such a good idea.
But you can water ski, right?
No, I can't.
No, you can't? No. Not anymore?
Tried it twice.
All right. I'm looking forward to it.
I went skiing once too.
My daughter bought a boat.
She bought a boat.
I'm pretty excited. Up. She is. It's red and white.
Moving on up.
It's called, you want to know what the name of the boat is?
Black Betty. No.
Aquaholic.
Aquaholic.
Aquaholic. So the question is, once you get a boat, do you have to rename it or do you keep the name? I don't know what's customary.
It depends how much it costs.
What, the boat?
Yes. No, the name.
Oh.
if it's all right.
To paint the name, to repaint the name?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Anybody could do that, right? You could just stencil it on there.
Sure.
Not everything costs money, Tom.
Yes, it does. Nothing is free.
Get out the checkbook.
Right.
Right. All right. So I watched a couple of movies over the weekend.
Oh, I watched a series, the first season.
The whole first season?
Yeah, it was a binging thing.
Of a series?
Yeah, the Mighty Ducks series. The new one with what's his name? The Mighty Ducks. The Mighty Ducks.
Be kidding me.
Well, your child is not old enough to appreciate the Mighty Ducks. All the movies, the kids' movies.
Yeah.
With Sheen there.
So was
Emilio
there a
Estevez.
series? Is this a new
Yes,
series?
It's a series.
It is a new
on
series.
Disney Plus.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
You have Disney Plus?
Well, yeah, what we do in our family is every one of us pick something. Like my daughter has the Netflix account. I think we have the
And you all pay for
the
them and you
Amazon
share.
Prime, and then he has
Right.
the Disney, and somebody else has the Hulu.
Right.
So
Which
yeah,
makes me mad that some of these shows they make you pay for, but yet I've complained about that.
apparently the
I won't complain.
HBO, the one we're missing is the HBO Max.
I've got that. I've got it. I've got
My
HBO
daughter's
Max.
been trying to figure
I've got
out
it.
the new Friends. Did you watch the new Friends?
No, but I did see Chandler, whatever his real name. I always forget his name.
Matthew Perry.
Matthew Perry. He looked out of it. Like he's still got that drug problem that's got him, a little messed up.
Who was your favorite?
On Friends?
Yeah.
How do you pick one? I love them all. That's the greatest ensemble cast, I think, of all time. I know Seinfeld is a great ensemble cast. It's hard because they're two different shows, but that was a cast that stuck together when it came to getting paid. All of them got paid the same amount, and no one went to bat for themselves. If they all wanted a raise, they all went in. If they felt like they needed more money, they all went in together.
You know who my favorite character was on that show?
On Friends?
Yeah.
Who?
Tom Selleck.
Oh, he was good. I mean, there were some great cameos. Reese Witherspoon.
No, it was definitely Chandler.
He was your favorite?
Yeah, because I am
Matthew
Chandler.
Perry was, he had that long standing drug issue.
Mm-hmm.
And then they tried to say that he had just been to the dentist and that's why he was slurring. And I'm like, why would you go to the dentist before you film this huge HBO special? I don't believe that. I think he's obviously still going through some stuff. I feel like he hasn't whipped the whole prescription pill demon.
Yeah, that's sad.
Right?
If it's true.
Did you notice that at all? Did you? Oh,
I haven't watched it. We don't have HBO Max.
So I watched the trailer.
Yeah, I need
the
your
trailer is
password.
like 3 or 4 3 or 4 minutes long. He's slurring. He can't speak right. I mean, there's you notice a little bit of something, but I watched over the weekend. Did you know Clint Eastwood has a son?
No, I didn't know that, but I'm sure
Clint
he does.
Eastwood has a son, and his name is Scott Eastwood.
Okay.
And he looks like
his
daddy.
dad?
He looks like daddy. I don't know if he's a great as actor as his dad, Clint
like
Eastwood.
Dirty Harry daddy with the big hair and everything.
He's got some hair going on, but this movie is called The Wrath of Man, and it's like an action shoot 'em up. Lots
Clint Eastwood movie.
Kind of. Jason Statham is in it.
Well, there you go.
And so it's kind of that kind of movie.
The transporter guy.
Post Malone is in this movie.
You're the shoot 'em up girl.
He's the rapper. I know, I do. I love war movies, and I love, like, The Wrath of Man is a good movie. So if you're looking for something to rent, and you can rent it right there on demand.
Okay.
The Wrath of Man with Jason Statham, very good. It's about robbing Brinks trucks, but something goes wrong. I'm telling you, it's not a bad idea. We should think about. There's a lot of
the Brinks trucks.
There's a lot of money to be had, Tom.
Yeah, those guys are kind of fat. I don't think they move real fast, right?
And I think they're told really to stand down and let you have the money. It's not the motto is it's not your money, so who cares? They said that multiple times in the movie. I'm just saying. Then I watched 1922, which is on Netflix, which is based on a Stephen King short story. Have you watched it on Netflix?
I saw 1917.
Different.
1922.
1922.
That's only 5 years later. How much different could it be?
It's about how a farmer in 1922, when his wife doesn't do what he wants her to do.
Wait a minute.
He kills her.
Nothing's changed then. 1922, 2022.
Right. He wants his wife to do something.
The wife didn't do what he wanted.
The wife is saying, I'm not going to do what you want to do.
Shocker.
And so he does something horrendous with the help of his son, and it ends very poorly.
All right.
I'll tell you who also is the only person I recognize in this movie is a guy named Neil McDonough, and he was on Desperate Housewives, and he was also in Band of Brothers.
Okay.
And if you like scary stuff based on Stephen King books, you guys are going to love 1922 because it's really good. What's someone saying about the Hard to get your ass out of the water as we age. Oh yeah, I know. Trying to get up on skis. Yeah, it's
you'll be fine. What could possibly go wrong?
Serena says back
Serena
to the boat.
Williams?
Serena, no, says it's bad luck to change the name of a boat.
Oh, there you go. You got your answer.
I did not know that. Is that right?
So what's the name of this boat? Alcoholism?
Aquaholic. Aquaholic
Could
is the
be
name of the
worse.
boat, which I think is kind of cute.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she's going to change it or if she's just going to
It could be named like Freddie or something.
leave it. But it's got one of those things. What do you call it? Is it a cuddy where you can actually
A
go?
little cabin.
You can sleep
Yeah.
on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter has a boat.
And she's going to sleep on it.
And well, I mean, I don't know if she's going to sleep on it. I don't think she's too hip to that, but she can. So yeah, Serena, thank you. I did not know that it was bad luck to change the name of the boat. Now we do. What I'm watching right now is, speaking of the girls, remember Mean Girls? Where
Yes.
she could, Amanda Seyfried was in Mean Girls, and she was the one that was holding her boobs, saying, I feel like I can tell the weather with her boobs. She's in this.
Oh, now I got to watch it.
It's called Things Heard and Seen. It's super scary.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to tell you. I haven't finished it. I don't know what happens.
It's a movie or a series?
It's a movie on Netflix. It's called Things Seen and Heard. And I only saw it because you know how Netflix gives you that, hey, if you like 1922, you're going to like these 6 other things. And I thought, oh, I like her. I'm going to watch this movie. It turned out to be fantastic.
Yeah, I only like alien movies.
You like alien movies?
I
You're
like
funny.
future stuff.
Oh,
by the way, a guy from the Department of Defense either retired or he got fired, and he says aliens are real. There's a story out about it.
You know what? We need to get.
He says he knows for a fact that UFOs are real.
Who's doubting that?
Nobody.
I mean, we can't think in all this universe we're the only ones, right?
Right.
I mean, it goes against everything we believe about religion.
So I'm excited for that.
All right. Maybe we should try to get some kind of a national UFO alien guy on the show.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
I mean, they're really not looked at so much as kooks anymore, right?
Yeah, we know his calendar's open.
What I think all of these, there's so many pilots and so many Air Force pilots that have had so many alien, or unidentified encounters, I guess you could say, right? They've had these unidentified encounters. I think there's too many of them to explain away by just saying, oh, it's a weather balloon. Oh, it's so-and-so. So maybe we'll try to get one of those guys on.
Right.
Hey,
Looking
Kimberly,
forward to it.
Kimberly's Revolution, you need to have a renaming ceremony
For the show?
for the renaming of the boat.
Oh.
There's a whole thing you're supposed to do, though, to change the name of a boat, someone says. Lisa says. You have to have like a whole ceremony. And then Suzanne says, yeah, you have to have a renaming
So
ceremony.
it's like an exorcism for the boat?
I think she should name her boat after her mama and just name it
Mama's boat?
Mama's Boat.
No.
I get no one in my life that I've, that's
Name
been
the boat.
in my family.
How much will it cost us for her to name the boat Kimberly's Revolution?
Oh, that would be a great name, right?
Tell her I'll give her $100 cash.
Yes, you're not going to
No.
take that. She
Right.
might take it if you paid for the boat, the naming rights. You pay for the boat and you get the naming rights.
Okay.
You don't get use of the boat.
No?
No, you don't get use of the boat, but whatever.
Well, it's going to be in her backyard, right? It's not like it's going to be docked at the marina all summer.
It is
on a trailer.
not going to be at the marina. They're going to keep it
All
in
right.
the driveway.
All right, as long as she parks the boat at the end of the driveway so everybody can see it when they go by.
She should name it Naughty Girl. Nauti. See, that's why you guys are so smart, Suzanne.
Clever.
Naughty Girl. That's a great name for a boat. I don't know. I don't know what I do with a boat. I'm not really a boat type of girl, but I do like to go out and drink on a boat from time to time. All right. Speaking of horror movies that I just told you about, there is a bill in the New York State legislature.
Yes.
I'm a little bit amped up about this because crazies exist, guys. And the crazy,
And not the extraterrestrial ones.
is a guy. He's a New York State senator. His name is Brad Holman,
Never trust a guy named Brad.
and New York State senator. There he is. See him?
No.
And he believes that prisoners who can show they have successfully completed education and counseling programs and no longer represent a threat to society deserve a second chance. He has introduced a bill that would give New York inmates aged 55 and older a chance for parole no matter what their crime is, as long as they have served 15 years of their sentence. 15 years. Because life without parole apparently is too harsh, guys, for some heinous murderers, right? Life without parole is there for a reason. These guys were given life without parole for a good reason. And the reason is because they're sociopaths and psychopaths who go on murderous sprees and kill and maim people. That's why they have life without parole, right? They thought about these crimes. They perpetrated the crimes. They planned the crimes. Life without parole. But this guy, because there's a certain segment of our population that believes that, that people ought to be able to do some time and then get out and then show how they have rehabilitated. But we know that some of these people can never be rehabilitated. It's called New York's Elder Parole Bill. And this guy, Holloman, says prisons aren't nursing homes. Well, we know they're not nursing homes, Brad. They're actually, prisons are places to keep really bad people. Like, let me give you an example.
Right.
45-year-old Thomas Johnson III.
My brother-in-law.
Sentenced to life without the possibility of parole because he shot and killed Rochester police officer Daryl Pearson.
Right.
Under the proposed legislation, he has the potential to be released at age 45 after serving only 16 years of his sentence. He's 45 now. 10 years from now, Thomas Johnson III can be out running the streets of Rochester.
I mean, I guess I could see if you're like 92 or something like that. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't think so, Tim. I don't think so.
But what would you do with him? Put him in a nursing home if he's 92? What's the difference?
You just keep him in prison.
Right.
Because obviously.
At that point.
I mean, don't you?
I would think so.
Yeah, absolutely. There were over Memorial Weekend, when we are supposed to be mourning our men and women who gave up their lives in fighting for freedom of this country, there was a group of individuals, parole reform advocates, along with, my favorite organization, this Free the People Rock. They were protesting downtown about the elder parole bill, saying that it would give people a second chance. So let me ask you if 49-year-old Mark Christie deserves a second chance. Do you know who 49-year-old Mark Christie is?
I do.
He was sentenced to life without parole for killing 4-year-old Kaylee Polton in 1996. But prior to that, in 1988, while he was still a high school senior, he killed an elderly woman by the name of Viola Manville. And another guy ended up doing time in prison for that Mark Christie crime. So it was another guy that after like 13 hours of questioning, finally said he did it. He ended up serving, time in prison. But Mark Christie was the actual one who committed that crime. So 49-year-old Mark Christie could be released in 6 years if this bill is passed in the New York State Legislature. Or how about this person, Laura Rideout? You remember the Rideouts, right?
I do, sure.
All of our listeners that have, watched and listened to me over the years knows who Laura Rideout is. Yes, the senator is a Democrat.
Of course.
Absolutely. Here's what I think. I think that all these people should be released when they get to the age of whatever, and I think they should all live on the block of this senator. I think they should all live on the block of this senator. And I think that members of Free the People Rock, this organization of idiots, should welcome these people into their home. Frank Garcia. Do you remember Frank Garcia? This was a horrendous crime where Frank Garcia.
Is he one of the Garcia brothers?
He, he's one of these guys, and he had hit on a woman at work, and when he was disciplined for that, he went over to the house of his boss and he killed her and he killed her husband. Then he went out to the hospital where he worked at one point in time, and he killed a woman who he was hitting on there that kind of brushed off his, she had complained about him to upper management. And I think he lost his job at the hospital in Brockport. And then Frank Garcia, while he was trying to kill this woman in the parking lot of the hospital in Brockport, a couple was driving along, sees what's going on, get out of the car and try to stop him.
He killed them too?
He shot and killed the guy. The woman was able to, although she was shot and injured, get into the car and leave. In his wake, he killed 4 people. He would be released in just a number of years. David Zacher, 51 years old in Greece. Do you remember this story? He stabbed his wife and killed her and his 4-year-old daughter in their home. He eviscerated the 2-year-old, and she ended up surviving because a doctor across the street worked in pediatrics at Strong and was able to hold her stomach and chest together until they got to the hospital.
Do you really think this is that extreme, though, that these are the people that they're going to let out? Or do you think they're just looking for people with, like weed convictions?
No, I think they're looking for, and what the guy said was, basically the elder
murderers.
No matter what their crime. That was what the guy said.
Well, obviously that's insane. But guess what?
New York State Senator Brad Holloman believes that prisoners who can show they have successfully completed education and counseling programs and no longer represent a threat deserve a second chance, regardless of their crime.
Wow.
Regardless of their crime, as long as, the only factor that's making a difference here is you have to have served 15 years of your sentence
and get past a quack. You have to fake it with a quack for time period.
He says this is part of a nationwide rethinking of the harsh approach to tough on crime.
Just in California, Michigan, New York, Pennsylvania, Oregon, Washington. Am I missing any?
This idiot senator says data shows that people over the age of 50 are really unlikely to return to prison for new crimes that they committed after they've already been there. Wasn't there a serial killer that committed crimes over the age of 55? That serial killer from Rochester?
Arthur Shawcross.
Shawcross. How old was he? He was over 50.
He had gray hair.
He was over 50.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he was killing when he was in his 30s, though.
Killers don't stop killing because they've aged out. Once they hit 55, the urge to kill doesn't go away. I
don't know.
Have you ever heard of anything?
Just like any good Democrats,
so ridiculous?
They'll have a study about it now.
So Laura Rideout.
But guess what? It doesn't matter what we think because we don't have any power in New York State.
I can't imagine that this would even be considered in the legislature, but it's being considered. In fact, Sandra Dorley tweeted it and said, listen, we're at a crossroads here. There's a whole group of individuals, these parole reformers, Free the People Rock, people in Albany, people downstate that believe that we're too tough on crime. So people like Mark Christie and David Zacher and the Frank Garcias and the Kevin Quanders and the Laura Rideouts of the world, your living nightmare come true, are free once they age out of the prison system. That's basically what we're looking at.
Well, maybe part of the deal is they can just move them to Florida. Like everybody else.
Here's the problem with that. What does it say to the victims who are left behind? The families. What does it say? This David Zacher has been a thorn in his family side for years, finally a judge said, you're never having contact with them. But he actually went to court to try to have contact with the 2-year-old that he almost killed and his son, who I think was like 10 at the time. They're being raised by relatives, somewhere in the state, or maybe they even live out of state now. But can you imagine if he gets out? He's eligible for release in 4 years. David Zacher.
There's no way he's getting out, right?
I-
Maybe they need new blood on the parole board.
I mean, I don't know. The list is crazy, but it's all here, all the names. And those are just the local ones that people might remember, right? There's even some
Sure.
on here who people, might not remember. Kevin Quander admitted to murder of Charlotte Lair. She was that woman who ran that liquor store in Mount Hope. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
I mean, he bludgeoned her to death with whatever bottles he could get a hold of inside the liquor store. And you look at stuff like this and the Elder Parole Act.
Yeah.
Just because they hit 55, that means they're really not likely. Laura Rideout, she's psychotic,
Yeah.
right?
My father used to say you can't apply common sense to a situation where there isn't any. And that's what's happening here. This is just stupid. I mean,
Things like
it'll-
this make me sick.
I find it hard to believe that anything like that will get passed.
And then
But
what
you don't have the votes,
what you do-
so it probably will.
But where we're going,
The hell.
defund the police,
Mhm.
right? They want to, whoever thought anyone would take
Nobody.
money away from the police, it's happening
Oh, yeah.
to the tune of millions of dollars. So you think things like that. And here's the thing. They want you to think that it'll probably never get passed. So they slide things like this through, right?
Mhm.
I mean, the whole concept is craziness. But
Right.
these are things that are being talked about in Albany, in the New York State legislature. And they've got traction.
Yeah, don't they have anything else to talk about?
They have support. They have people that go, oh, that's a great idea. They're right. People deserve a second chance. Mark Christie deserves a second chance.
Sure he does.
David Zacher, Frank Garcia, Kevin Quander, Christopher Gifford, Angel Mateo, all committed horrendous
I was almost
acts of
on
violence.
that. I was almost on that jury for Angel Mateo.
Were you?
Yeah.
Crime rampage in
I got-
November of
I got-
96.
I got called for that.
He
I got into the box.
You did.
Yeah.
Murdered 4 people. He's eligible for release in 4 years.
They called like thousands of people for that jury.
So you didn't get on the.
No,
Why do you think they turned you away?
because I told them I liked Rush Limbaugh.
You think that is not why?
That's what I said.
Did you say that?
Yeah.
How does that have any bearing on whether or not you can be fair and impartial in the jury?
I was just a young kid.
So you guys, when you see those things and they come up, I think people go, oh, that's so crazy. It's out there. No one's ever going to,
Yeah.
it won't ever be considered.
I think that's what most people think.
I think you have some. Oh, Vicky says, I was on the Angel Mateo jury.
She was? Maybe we saw each other at the snack bar.
That was before my time here in Rochester, but
Mhm.
that was a pretty horrendous murder. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Guy could be out in 4 years, Vicky. He could be coming knocking on your door.
Coming after you.
Hey, Vicky, here you are on the jury. I mean, you don't know what these people are going to do.
Mhm.
They have the ability to look up who was on the jury,
Well,
just like anyone else
Luckily,
does.
I never made it.
Right.
Unlike Vicky.
I mean, that's scary. Patty says they're doing everything. They're doing. I can't read what she says. It doesn't make any sense. They're doing everything at the accused. They're doing it. Well, I don't know what it
No,
says.
they had this huge questionnaire. They had like thousands of people fill out this giant questionnaire. And one of the questions was, do you believe, because at that time the death penalty was a big issue.
Right.
And one of the questions was, do you believe in the death penalty?
Mhm.
As to, should if he's convicted, should he
Well,
get that?
I think there are some people.
Yeah.
Yeah. That.
So that
probably
it
should.
wasn't Rush Limbaugh. That was the real reason why I got kicked off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because
I
of,
checked the box that I believed in the death penalty.
well, like they're going to put anyone to death in the state of New York,
At
right?
that time in the 90s, that was the thing.
I think these are all people who you could seriously say we wouldn't miss them, right?
Right.
We're not going to miss the Laura Rideouts of the
They're all
world,
people.
right?
They're all God's children.
We're not gonna-
Kimberlina.
Robert Spahalski is on the. Do you know who he is? Convicted
No.
of murdering 4 people from 1990 to 2005.
Yeah, at least he spaced them out.
He would be eligible for release immediately. Like if this passes, dude's out. And if he's, done all the right things in prison. But don't think that just because you hit the age of 55
Yeah, he's
and
an ordained minister now.
the urge to kill goes away. I don't know who thinks that. That's silliness. Our country is so messed up. Pretty sad. It is pretty sad. There's a supply chain problem, not with murders and violence, because
like a gold chain.
There is a supply chain problem. You know what? We're having a problem getting to locations that are going to need them for festivals and parties and concerts.
I know the answer to this. That's why I'm not going to spoil it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Porta potties.
Porta potties.
Porta potties are yes. You think I'm kidding you?
That's
I am
nice
not.
That's the
kidding
Cadillac
you.
version.
The latest version of the supply chain shortage. I mean, we've heard about gas.
What they do with all the old ones? Did they throw them out?
Huh?
The old porta potties? What they do with them? They put them in storage?
I don't know. I think they must be in storage. Here's the problem. We know gas and lumber. So my husband finally was able to get plywood because he's finishing the garage and he's going to paint it, make it look real nice. We were finally able to get the plywood to put up on the walls of the garage, the Luan or whatever it is. So we finally found some at Home Depot.
Really, really thin.
It is, but he can paint over it and he doesn't have to do any of that sanding or anything. It just paints. So we finally found it. But again, you have gas and lumber and chicken wings and ketchup and chips. What else is a supply chain problem? I mean, now it's porta potties. And you want to know why? Because they don't have the workers or the drivers to get the porta potties to the locations where they need them. There's a porta potty shortage, guys.
It's Woodstock all over again.
I am not kidding you. Who would ever think of that?
Yeah.
And now there's possibly going to be a meat shortage. You know that, right?
Yes, I've heard that.
Yeah. World's largest meat processor was hacked. Cyber hackers. Cyber attack.
How much Bitcoin did they get out of that?
They're going to probably get probably the same ones who did the
probably
the oil company, right? JBS meat processing hit by cyber attackers. Can we not stop these guys? Are we all rolling with like zero security? I mean,
yeah, we all have the same password.
They're the largest meat processing plant.
Everybody's password is happy1234.
Is that the problem? Is that yours?
No.
That's not your passcode.
No.
Happy 1234.
No.
4321.
Could be.
I'm just trying to figure it out.
Right.
But no, I mean, seriously.
Yeah, no, it's all stupid.
It is all stupid.
Yeah.
And of course, so we had I could not pass up the porta potty picture.
It's cute.
I will go out of my way not to use a porta potty.
Lori used one this weekend.
Unless I'm really drunk. And then it's no holes barred.
When we were actually on Thursday when we went to Niagara Falls to visit, and that's the only thing you could use was the porta potty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like you. I would just hold it.
So you actually went to the falls?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't cross over into Canada still.
No.
But did you see the long lines of people coming into? They showed a picture this morning on one of the news channels of the southern, I think it's the border. Is it in San Diego maybe? Where they have the whole backup of people trying to get in. It's like 8 lanes. It's backed up for hours.
Crazy.
It is crazy.
No, the when you look across the falls into Canada, there's literally nobody was there.
Are they waving?
There was nobody there.
Nobody there.
And the Maid of the Mist in Canada was closed. So you couldn't even do the Maid of the Mist, but the American one was open.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we took that last year. All my, family came up from Kansas City, the kids, my nieces and nephews.
So wasn't everything closed?
No, COVID? We got on the Maid of the Mist.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, none of the shops were open, but the Maid of the Mist you could go on the American side. Yeah. So, I mean, we had fun. Speaking of traveling, was the thruway busy?
All the traffic's busy. Yeah.
Because the airports were super busy. The traffic was crazy.
Yeah, COVID's gone.
I think, people are out. They're having fun. They were at Durand Eastman. Remains were found close to Durand Eastman over the weekend.
That,
yeah. So I'm not exactly sure what the story. Carrie says, "Hi, Kimberly." Hi, Carrie. Robin Grammatico. Stop getting more beautiful. Oh, you're silly. She said, "Stop getting more beautiful." I think the camera has a problem today. I know.
So sweet. Thanks, Robin.
That is very.
She wasn't talking about me.
No.
Oh,
but you're beautiful too.
Screw it.
Yeah. So I have to show this picture. I wanted to show it last week. This is.
Do I get my 5 minutes today?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
So we got time.
All right.
We got time. So there's a little problem of people acting badly. They've been doing it at the NBA games, the final games. People throwing cans at the players.
Yeah, I heard
Someone
about
getting
this. Jason Tatum in Boston. Right?
Is that where it happened?
Oh no, it was Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving.
in
Yeah.
Boston,
I
yes.
think it's happened a couple of times in the last couple of games that they've
Yeah.
had with the
Behave
NBA.
yourself, people.
Behave yourself.
You have a right to buy a ticket and you have a right to be there, but you don't have a right to harass anybody.
So here's what we know. If you want to get a drink, and if you're flying American or Southwest Airlines, American and Southwest Airlines says they are no longer going to be serving alcohol. I never buy booze on a plane anyway because it's way overpriced.
BYOB?
Depending on what time I'm flying, I might have a drink at the airport bar, but I don't buy booze on an airplane. But apparently people get liquored up and they continue to get liquored up and then bad behavior happens. But American and Southwest Airlines said they're no longer going to be serving booze on their flight. And here's why. The president of Southwest Flight Attendant Union says between April 8th and May 15th, 477 incidents of misconduct.
477?
Misconduct by passengers on Southwest planes. This lady, last week, you see her back at the back. She's the blonde. You see the guy in the hat standing there. She's the blonde. Her face is bloodied. Her nose is broken by a woman who didn't want to put her seatbelt on.
And they've been doing that like forever, right?
Are you kidding me? She didn't want to put her. She
doesn't have to.
She was annoyed because the flight attendant told her to put her tray table up and fasten her seatbelt, and she didn't want to do it.
You know what Lori did this weekend?
She didn't want to do it.
You know what Lori did this weekend?
What'd
We
she
were
do?
driving back from Canandaigua, and she's like, "Well, I got to put my seatbelt on in the back seat." I says, "You don't have to put your seatbelt." She goes, "Yeah, it's the law." So she's looking around trying to find the seatbelt in the back seat. Nobody wears the
seat.
seatbelt in the back seat. But
I don't even know where mine is.
She felt better. I guess that's a law now. Who knew?
But here's this lady. You
All
see her right there.
Yeah.
She is a flight attendant who goes to work every day, does her job, and
Workman's compensation.
does not deserve to have her nose broken by a woman who doesn't want to put her seatbelt on. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, she'll get paid though.
And so I thought that was relevant to show on Kimberly's Revolution, which, by the way, is Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Yes.
And we want you to support our advertisers because they support us. Fantuzo's Acupuncture, Precision Lawn and Garden, Taylor Heating and Plumbing, and Express Sealers. A little portion of my childhood died over the weekend. Did you see this?
Yes.
The name of today's show is Raindrops Keep Falling on My Love Boat.
Raindrops
The
keep
Love Boat.
falling on
Don't sing
my
it.
head.
Okay. They'll cut out half of the
No,
show.
they won't.
Yeah, they will. Raindrops keep falling on my love boat. Boat because my daughter bought a boat, but because Gavin McLeod at the age of
the
90,
captain.
who was the captain, and also one of my favorite artists of all time, BJ Thomas, died at the age of 78. So Gavin McLeod from the Love Boat and BJ Thomas, 78, who sang Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head.
And a bunch of other ones.
And Hooked on a Feeling. Don't sing it.
You did.
But BJ Thomas and Gavin McLeod, I'm like, oh my God.
We should put a band together.
I grew up on those songs. I grew up watching that show.
Yes.
I loved The Love Boat. Who didn't love The Love Boat?
Everybody.
Both passed away over the weekend. Two little snippets of my childhood gone. And BJ Thomas, 78 is young, right? I mean, more or less.
Yeah.
Kind of, isn't
Sure.
it? More or less young. I think it's young.
Yeah, great show, The Love Boat. That Friday night with Fantasy Island and The Love Boat.
That was a great lineup.
Yeah.
Right?
Was it Friday or Saturday night?
It's Bionic Woman and then The Love Boat.
Yeah.
It was all good. It was all good. All right, just Tom.
Cabo San Lucas and where'd they go? Ensenada or Cabo San.
I don't know. It was it was a great show.
Mazatlan was a stop.
That was a big. Oh, no, that was Fantasy Island, wasn't it?
No, the Love Boat went down the California coast there.
I don't remember.
All right.
What?
Lori keeps wanting to know what are you gonna do with your 5 minutes? I'm like,
Right.
I'm not gonna tell you, because then she's like, you have to tell me because it's gonna be stupid.
It's just Tom's take.
It's gonna be stupid.
Yeah.
So I sent her this text last week. She still has yet to respond to it.
Okay.
Okay. So this was a WebMD article that I was reading, and it was about the health benefits of sleeping naked.
Okay.
Okay.
Really?
She has yet to respond.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So some of the things, when you sleep colder, right? Do you know what the ideal temperature is to sleep at?
I have no idea. I don't like to be cold when I sleep.
66 to 70 degrees is
Wait.
the ideal temperature to sleep.
Way too cold.
Well, because when you overheat,
Yeah.
when you wear, I call it the army gear. When you wear your sweatshirt and your sweatpants,
Stuff starts coming off. I have hot flashes in the middle.
Yeah.
I am a woman of a certain age and we get hot at night, right?
Right.
But I don't want it to be 66. I want to be able to kick the covers
So
off.
I'm telling you, this is the thing.
Yeah.
If you sleep cooler, you won't overheat, and therefore you don't wake up as often.
Yeah, but my nose gets cold and my feet are cold. Then what? Then what?
That's in here too.
Okay.
Okay. So if you sleep, if you're too warm, then you'll wake up because it pulls you out of your deep sleep, which is what makes you less tired, is the deeper sleeping. Okay. So some
they
of the
say
other
you
things.
should sleep naked.
Yes, it's healthy.
I know
it
how
produces more something
Yeah.
called, it produces brown fat, okay, which apparently boosts your metabolism.
Well, there might be something brown if you're sleeping naked, but I don't know.
Okay. People that sleep naked have less weight gain because you stay asleep longer.
Okay.
People that sleep more than 7 hours a day tend to be less, somewhere in that 7 hours is
Yeah.
your sweet spot. If you sleep less than 5 hours, I guess, you're eating more. Okay. So if you sleep naked, that means you reduce your risk of heart disease. You reduce your risk of diabetes.
So you're trying to help her, become a more healthy individual. Is that what you're
Sure,
saying?
that's exactly what I'm
Is that
doing.
what you're saying?
You have a
Okay.
stronger immune system.
I see where you're going.
You
with
have
that.
better-
I understand.
better
Sure.
focus, better
Sure.
reasoning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you know if you have more skin to skin contact?
Then you get hot.
No, you increases your oxytocin.
Oxytocin.
Oxytocin, which reduces your stress.
I can't.
Okay, so-
Joy says I can't believe all people don't sleep naked.
Right.
I do not sleep naked.
So
I have cuddle dud pajamas, and they're so soft. Joy, you
So
will love them.
so what they say.
Kohl's has them.
So what they say is if you have a
Sleep naked, you might
problem,
not ever get out of bed.
if you have a problem with cold extremities,
Yeah.
they say that 2 hours before you go to sleep, you need to take a quick hot shower, and that'll get your blood vessels moving,
Okay.
and then go to sleep.
I
naked.
see.
Okay,
But then if you sleep naked, I'm afraid that there won't be any sleep.
so the other
And
thing
it
it
will
says,
just screw up the whole purpose
that-
of sleeping naked, right?
and then the last thing is you need high quality sheets,
Sure.
and you have to wash your sheets in
Every day.
You have to wash your sheets in warm water. Remember that. You
Okay.
can't wash them in cold water.
I
You
don't
gotta
know.
wash them
I
in
just
warm
remember
water.
my grandmother used to iron sheets. What the hell was up with that, guys?
So
Remember your grandparents ironing sheets?
So don't knock it till you try it. It's like Brussels sprouts.
That's just Tom's take.
That's my take for
Just
today.
Tom's take on Kimberly's
We have-
revolution.
We have 65% female in this audience. You got to take care of your guys.
Tomorrow is I Stand with Chad. Tomorrow is Kimberly's Revolution. Are we having it at 4? We're not. What time are we doing tomorrow's show?
There'll be some programming updating because that his trial date got moved to next week.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Because Judge Janier here in Irondequoit, who was a legend, actually a mentor to Chad, he passed away this past week,
Oh,
surprisingly.
yeah.
So they suspended Chad's hearing tomorrow till next Wednesday, the 9th.
Okay.
So tomorrow's program should be regular
Regular scheduled programming.
Regular programming.
Do we have
tomorrow.
someone coming up today on the
Yes.
We the People Podcast Network?
At 4:00 today
Yeah,
is
if I can say it. Can you
is
say
the
it?
inaugural Matt Fritz show. Real Talk with Matt Fritz, I believe it is.
Is that coming up at 4:00 today on the We the People Podcast
4
Network?
o'clock today?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Matt
We're-
Fritz will be in studio.
We're adding to the network of stars.
And Chad's show, Got Freedom, will be coming up soon as well.
Okay. So when is that going to start? Next week, possibly?
Whenever he decides.
So
it's
the
gonna
I
start.
Stand with Chad rally is not tomorrow
Right.
because the date was moved because of the death of the
next
justice.
Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. All right.
Right.
Good to know.
Any other announcements?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Until tomorrow, of course, as we always say.
Sleep naked.
Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.